going to add you. And Dawn, you look like you are already unmuted. Hi, how are you?
Great. How are you?
I am fabulous. So let me just pull up the instructions for the 3D collection. And let's see. So when we are assembling the whole thing, so I suggest putting a 1-inch binding on it, right? And that's what you are asking about. Let me share my screen. I've got the instructions up here. Let me know when you can see it.
I can see it.
Okay, so I am in How to Stitch It 7, Assemble a Quilt. So if we pop all the way down, so whichever way that you finish the quilt, you're going to have the quilt top. You all wanted to know I have 12.12 gigabytes of junk files cluttering up my computer, didn't you? So when you finish the quilt top, you're going to have pieces that have been quilted in the hoop, and they are stitched together. You're going to layer it all with another piece of batting and backing fabric. Okay.
Okay.
So the piece, the quilt top is quilted, but it's kind of like the quilt top with batting underneath it, and that is quilted. And then you're going to add batting and your backing underneath that, do some stitching in the ditch. So even though you've only got 1/4 of an inch seam allowance on the quilt top, you're going to cut beyond that, and you'll have the extra batting and backing fabric, and that is what's going to sit into the binding so that you can make it a 1-inch wide binding.
Okay. That wasn't 100% clear there, and that's what I thought. I just wanted to double check before I tried it.
Okay. Yeah, so you're just going to stitch in the ditch along all of the lines to hold everything together. And there's absolutely no reason why you couldn't just put a regular 1/2-inch binding on it or a 3/8 of inch binding. I think it looks really pretty when you add the wider binding on it. In the original design, I actually had it as a border, and quilting it was going to be somewhat of a problem because all of the other pieces, it was really nice and easy to quilt them, and then putting an extra inch around the outside edge was like, well, how are we going to quilt that? And I figured, well, we don't need to quilt it, we're just going to make it a really nice chunky binding. So if you are going to do the 1-inch wide, then we got the cutting measurements here. You actually want to cut it 6.5 inches for your binding, but the end result is going to be really beautiful. So does that help? You're literally just going to have the excess batting and backing fabric beyond the edge of your
That's what I thought. I just wanted to double check because I didn't see that written anywhere. Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Okay, you are welcome.